Namaste, my fellow truth seeker. It is really nice out today. I don't know if I can flip the camera, it's not letting me, but here you can see like this. It's my backyard. So in this one, I figure I should introduce myself and, you know, if I'm going to try to be a teacher, I should have some kind of basis to go off of for, you people to feel like I'm worth listening to. So me, I'm at least currently over 30 years old, unemployed, not by choice, been trying to get a job for the last half year. Live with my mother and my brothers. I'm a pretty average guy in a lot of ways. Pretty average guy. Thing that's different about me though is I was born and raised vegan, and I've been getting shit for all my life by people that don't really know what it's about. People, especially in the South. I live in the South. The Southerners love their hunting and fishing and all that kind of thing. And I've had fish before. I've not always, I'm open-minded to things. I'm vegan for the animals, really, more than health. And that's part of what I want to talk about. With veganism, for most people, a lot of them are doing it for two different reasons that I've witnessed, at least, through the eyes of, social media or whatever examples that I've been able to witness other than myself and people I know physically. I feel like the two things that make people push to go vegan, one being health, which is kind of a myth. Veganism is not necessarily healthier just in itself. There are a lot of things about veganism, like, just having a more plant-based diet and not eating as much, it's really what is important about it is the wholeness, the wholesomeness of food, whole foods, Like you want to see everything that you're eating. You don't want to buy processed, prepackaged that could have God knows what inside of it. Just because the ingredients say something, that doesn't mean there ain't more in there. One thing to keep an eye out for, since I'm talking about, is terms like natural flavors or spices. Why do they, why can't they tell us exactly what those things are? So that's what I'm saying. Another thing why people go vegan is this kind of guilt that hits them all of a sudden when they see, how animals are treated or whatever, and it's like that's really the thing that needs to be brought attention to, is all the factory farming, all the inhumane treatment of our food, and how that transfers that energy, I believe, from the meat, from the pig that's suffering in a cage that never gets to see sunlight, that is force-fed. You think that wouldn't affect your vibration eating that? So that's really the most important thing about what I'm trying to convey right now in this, is not to be so obstinate or closed-minded about the idea of veganism just for one thing. And the other thing too about the factory farming, or like, no, this actually happened to me. I was on a little group thing on Facebook, right? And I was just giving my 2 cents on I forget what the post was about or whatever, but I was just talking about like the Indians in Buffalo and honoring the animal that they do kill or whatever. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. I don't think there's nothing wrong with fishing. I don't know if I'll ever shoot an animal. I don't really, you know, would like to try and avoid that. Never know if, what could ever happen in terms of survival, whatever you gotta need to do. So I'm not opposed to it, but yeah, do I not resonate with it? No, I don't like the, deer are like angels. They're so precious. They're like magical to watch. Animals in general, but deer are so like delicate and peaceful. To kill one of them when we have all these other sources for food, and you know what I'm saying? To kill one of them is kind of barbaric, especially for how advanced we're supposed to be. It's kind of barbaric. At least that's just my opinion, and it's different, on how you go about it. If you're raised into that and it's normalized to you, I can't have no place for judgment. This is just my opinion and how I view it. Anyway, on this group chat, I was basically talking about like, yeah, Indians, buffalo, they honor the stuff, etc., etc. I've been born vegan, and these people were actually coming at me because they have this guilt that they're not owning about their past self not being vegan or whatever. Like they're all being a little too righteous about the path of it. I had like fucking 4 or 5 people sass me instead of, a handful of people were like, got respect out of it, seen it in a respectful way. I just don't understand. Everyone is trying to belong, have a sense of belonging in this world, so I understand what it is really, but it's still just silly. It's still anything that ain't open-minded, open communication. It's like, why be like that? It says the storage is low. Oh, geez. Well, but yeah, that's the thing that needs to be brought attention to, is the purity and wholeness of our foods when it comes to veganism, not the being vegan in itself. It's the understanding of what you're eating. This fast food stuff, McDonald's, how do you know what that burger's made out of? Or, this is just a theory, of course, but what if the secret formula in SpongeBob for the Krabby Patties was crab meat? So you get what I'm saying about McDonald's. I don't even have to say it. And I don't know nothing. I don't think I know more than anybody, but you should never feel like you know everything either. You should be approaching everything with the infinite curiosity of a child, where you're trying to learn everything every day. You don't have this conformed ego of the adult that feels like it has everything together. It understands the world for what it is. That's you're very off. You're very lost if you really feel that way, in my opinion. I don't see the point. And it's just an arrogant thing too, to feel the need to know everything. Of course, everyone wants to find their purpose and place and, all that kind of thing. But that's where God comes in. Like, he assures you, like, everything is aligned. I'll probably make this one another 2-parter. But yeah, it's just a beautiful day out. It feels like it could be, aside from the snow, the sun feels great. I could be shirtless fine. But I have a lot to go off of, and I feel I have a lot to teach for a reason, not just because I want to fit in with the the YouTube clicker, whatever. I could fucking care less about all that shit. I just feel like I have too much knowledge and wisdom to that it would be a waste to not share it. So with veganism, the only thing that's important with all that is just to be open-minded with anything else. Just be open-minded, keep your heart open to God, you know. It ain't gotta be anything complex. Thank you all. Um, we'll keep in touch. You know what it is.